Good afternoon, everybody. It has been 2 weeks, and wow, what a big 2 weeks it's been. So during the time that I was away, right before the Memorial Day weekend, I found a Facebook ad and made a Facebook purchase, and I bought 375 patterns. Now, we're going to look at some of them today, not all of them. And I have to say, this may be the last time that I'm doing this. Seriously, I know I said that a while back because, again, I asked this person, are these patterns cut or uncut? And I got the answer uncut. And then when I showed up, guess what I found? I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking she's going to tell us that she found that most of the patterns were cut. Well, that's absolutely right. Most of the patterns are in some degree of being cut. I don't know. I really wish people would just tell me the truth. It's a difficult thing because I would say that maybe half the patterns are cut. And it wasn't just patterns. I'll show you some of the other stuff that I got with this haul. I have a couple of other unusual things that I got with this haul. But in the meantime, I want to very quickly talk about Goodwill. You noticed I didn't do a Goodwill Tuesday post this week, and that is because I went to Goodwill and I got only one thing. I'll show you that to you right now. And it was this, which I think I've already had and sold, but I might keep a copy for myself because this one really does have really, really detailed pictures. This is from, let me think. I think it said 85. I remember looking at it and being like, oh, look, it's from, oh no, actually it's from 2001. So yeah. But it's very obviously based on the fashions because, that's how you can tell without even looking at the copyright date. This is from before then. So, and it was $3.99, $4. I got it for half price because it was green that day. But that leads me to my next discussion, which is I probably will not be doing too much more Goodwill. And I'll tell you why. I'm not the only YouTuber talking about this. Goodwill's gotten a little crazy with the prices. And I mean like crazy. Like that's not so bad. That's a book. It's not a necessity. It was green that day. It was half price. So I got that book for $2. That's not bad. But I can tell you that back in the day, a book like that would have cost me $1.99 regular priced. Paperbacks, kids' books, they were all like 99 cents. The prices at Goodwill have gone up kind of exponentially, right? And I get this is a tough one because I just actually I should post it, but I didn't. I didn't watch the whole video, but I watched part of a video, and the woman was saying, are resellers ruining Goodwill for everybody? And we might be. I got to be honest, we might be. Personally, I'm thinking, my thought is I'm buying stuff at Goodwill that people in my area are not buying. Basically, my Goodwill, you can go in at any time and find, with the exception of clothing, lots of vintage items, china, glasses, dishes, furniture, anything you can imagine. For me, patterns, right? Because where I live, people are, and especially the resellers, are looking for things like a Puma hoodie that still has tags on it, a pair of jeans that still has tags on it, a pair of expensive sneakers that nobody ever wore, and they're going to be able to flip them online and stuff, which in my opinion is like, yeah, man, these people are hustling. They're probably people as poor as me, and they're hustling, and I don't, but I get it because Goodwill's saying, well, yeah, well, you're going to go out and sell this, so it's okay if we make our money kind of up front. But it's not, because you got all this stuff free donated to you, right? Including the corporate donations. When they make something like a pair of jeans, just a plain pair of jeans, not designer with tags still on it, none of that, just like a pair of used jeans. When they make a pair of used jeans, $6.99, $7.99, $10.99, that's like not really affordable for a lot of people. And what happens is what happens every Sunday where I live, which is you have these people, mostly women, that go in and they grab all the clothing that has the tag that's $1 that day. Doesn't matter if it's their size or not. They just grab like all that clothing and then they resell it. So yeah, they're still reselling. So you're not really stopping them. Plus, they're just they're creating like it's crazy in there on a Sunday. But I just feel like you got all this stuff for free. Why are you selling it at such high prices? This is supposed to benefit people who really can't afford stuff, and not for nothing, but here's a perfect example. I bought a pair of sneakers last year at Walmart that I basically wore out this whole last summer and part of this year. Those sneakers were on clearance at Walmart, brand new, for $9. I can guarantee you I can go into my Goodwill right now and find a really similar, they were just like a basic, like Keds style sneaker, like a faux leather Keds style sneaker, right? I probably can go in and find a pair for $8.99. Well, why would I pay $8.99 for a pair of used Ked type sneakers when I can go to Walmart and get brand new Ked style sneakers for $9? And I get that some people shopping at Goodwill is more of a sustainability issue and environmental issue than it is like a money issue. But for the people that it's a money issue, that's a no-brainer. They're going to go to Walmart and get new shoes. They just are. So in short, I think that I don't think I'm going to be doing the Goodwill Tuesdays anymore. I might have one pop up here and there because I obviously still shop at Goodwill, including, I'm going to show you something I got Friday. When I was in there Tuesday, it was too busy. I didn't feel like asking, but I saw this bag of patterns and they had a magenta label. And I know that the magenta label has been discontinued from just going into Goodwill enough. Anyway, so there were 3 patterns in it. I knew they were cut. They were girls' patterns. I know. I don't know why I bought them, but I did. But when I took them to the register, one of my favorite cashiers was working and she was like, I'll give you the whole bag for $1. I was like, great, I'll take it. So I'm going to show you these patterns. They are these patterns. They are all partially cut. So not every piece is cut, but they were cut. They're McCall's. They don't have line drawings. I don't remember the Sassy Girl. They're from 2005. So I guess Sassy Girl was a thing back in 2005. This one's got some damage. You can see over here. I don't think this was a bob bite though. I think that was, I think this, because the pattern has no damage. I'm thinking it was under something and somebody pulled it, So I did end up buying those because for 35 cents or whatever they turned out to be, I felt like they were worth it, even though they were cut. We'll see. I put them up online as a lot rather than trying to sell them individually. So, all right. So let's go back to oh, well, wait, before we do that, let's talk about these. So I did the video of these, right? Well, when I was getting them together, I went and I looked at them and I wanted to see like what was in one of the mending kits. And basically, the mending kits, let me get one that's really easy to see. This is what was in the mending kit. And then I added stuff to it. So it's all of this. Sorry for the glare. It is a piece of fabric, some needles, some pins, some embroidery floss. I guess that's 2 kinds of yarns. And then I added the little spool of thread. And then I also have some of the threaders, the hand threaders for the needles and the embroidery hoop. These are made for visible mending. Great idea. Only one problem. When I started to really look at them, they're not a uniform length of fabric. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a day at some point in time because school's out in 2 weeks. And I'm going to go through and make sure that they all have like a half yard or a large piece of fabric and just make them more uniform before I put them online. But I am going to put them online. I thought they were a really cute idea. I like the visible mending trend. I think that's fun. I also thought it was a great way for me personally to use up all of that thread that I have because I have so much thread, especially the little tiny spools of thread. So I'm going to do that. All right. So let's start with this haul. So in the haul, there were lots of things. There were regular patterns, and then there was stuff like this. So I have to put this up online. I haven't yet. And they all smell okay. This is yeah, knitting and crocheting. There were a lot of these actually. I'll show you some more in a minute. There were more of these kind of things, even though this is a seriously, this is one of the big thick ones that they used to, in fact, I think you used to buy these. I don't think these were free. Yeah, these were 60 cents. But more of these, so I'm going to sell these online. And she had a lot of this kind of stuff, vintage stuff for making dolls. So these will eventually be going up online also. She had this book, and I'm like, I think I want to learn how to crochet by using this book. Oh, it's got to be 1940s. It has to be. It's a Coates and Clark. Trying to see. It is 1948. Yeah, right. So there's this kind of stuff. Very cool. And then there was a plethora, and I do not use that word lightly, of this. Just so many books about making doilies, every kind of doilies, pineapple doilies, edges and trims, tatting lace, like just so many of them. And they're all this. They're all vintage, like really vintage, like 1940s, 1950s. And they're great. Not that anybody uses them anymore. But what I think I'm going to do is, because these are so specific and vintage, I'm going to bundle them, because I don't know how many people really still do stuff like this. But who knows? Maybe people do still do stuff like that. All right. So let's get into the next part. There was also this one. This thing is so amazing. Okay. I don't think I'm going to sell this. I think this is going to become an art piece. Unfortunately, the actual smocking blue iron-on transfer was missing from this. It is only, I will show them to you, directions. It's just directions on how to do smocking. So still interesting, but not, but the graphics were just so amazingly 1920s. And I think I'm going to frame it and put it in my sewing room as a little art piece. You know how I love that. Okay. So she had a large amount of every kind of pattern you can buy, or you can imagine, from the big four to over here. I'll show them to you in a minute. The really large format stand sews or stretch and sews. She also had these lots of mail order patterns. Let me take them out of here. So this is for a child's dress. And interestingly, I have 2 copies of this in 2 different sizes for adult women. So this must have been like a mom and daughter type thing. In fact, I'll put this one aside so that we can see it when we get. These were from, you guys are going to love this, Grit Magazine. Anybody remember Grit Magazine? Remember, you could sell Grit. You could sell Grit Magazine subscriptions, and you could win a bike. They had all the prizes. They used to advertise in comic books. You could, sell Grit Magazine, right? You could always win a bike and stuff. Girls pantsuit. I think I had 2 of these. I do. Here's the other one. And none of these are used. So these are some of the unused patterns. I was really angry, but then I realized that this woman had also included an entire box that was just patterns that didn't have an envelope, which back in the day is the way that a lot of places that sold sewing patterns, they would send the envelope back to the company, and they'd keep the kind of guts of the pattern. And then, people that worked there would take them home or whatever. And I think that's how she ended up with a lot of, and there was a whole box of those. We will be doing those very soon, in about 2 weeks, actually. Very groovy A-line dress, princess seams. In fact, next week, what we'll be doing is within the cut patterns and partially cut patterns, I saw several very cool vintage patterns that I thought I need to grab these because, again, they're in peril, right? They're old enough. There were a couple 40s, there were a couple 50s, a couple early 60s. They're old enough that they could disintegrate if I don't deal with them. So here's the women's version of the pattern, right? And then here's the girls. So I guess you could do a mother-daughter thing with these. It's cute. And I had 2 of these. I had 2 of the women's patterns. So kind of cute, right? sorry, let me put this one back. The little girls pattern. And then the very last one, oh no, I'm sorry, not the very last one of the mail order, was this very groovy women's pantsuit that can also be made into just a longer version into a dress. But yeah, these are all from the 70s, by the way, in case you were curious and you didn't recognize that time warp. That was the 70s. And then this thing, which is so cute, I'm so tempted to keep it, but it's a medium and I know I need a large. It's like a pop-over apron. Can you see the illustration there? How the apron's actually sewn together and you throw the whole thing over your head and then you tie it around your waist. I was like, how cute, right? But it's a medium. If it was a large or an extra large, this baby would be staying with me. So, but it's not. All right, so let's take a look at one of the really big deals in this whole shebang. Okay, so this pattern is from, as you can see, I think it's pronounced Alfred Shaheen. Now, the pattern is whatever. I mean, it's fine. It's a maxi skirt or like this lovely two different styles of that dress, right? But his big deal was that he used to sell, if I can get it out of here, these fabric panels. Now, obviously, there's no fabric in there. But the illustrated catalog was, including, look at the koi, right? And look at this cool geometric, I guess it's supposed to be butterflies. Like, really cool, right? And then you would make skirts, dresses, whatever, like the maxi skirt out of these panels. And this pattern was unused, not cut, not used, nothing. And it's the heavy duty paper like you see with the Stitch and Sews and the, what was the other one? Stretch and Sews, all that. All right. So I'm sorry. Stretch and Sew was the one I'm looking for. So there were a whole bunch of these. So here's Stretch and Sew. These are the ladies' t-shirts. This is the Ann Person, who, remember a while back, I actually found the Ann Person book that went with the Stretch and Sew. Actually, was that? No, that was for the time that I did the Goodwill, online Goodwill purchase, and it had the Ann Pierce. I think it's pronounced Persons, but it might be pronounced Pearsons. The textbook that you use if you took Stretch and Sew classes. These Stretch and Sew classes were offered like all over the country at places like Joann's and Fabric Mart and these, places like that. And you got a book, and it was Ann Person's book, and it was basically how to sew with stretch knits. Because remember, stretch knits, they were around back in the day, but they didn't get big until the 70s and 80s. Women started to get home sergers, and, double knit became very popular and all that other stuff. God help us, double knit became popular. This was super cute. Kids patterns for shirts. And there were also men's patterns. So you could take classes and then you could buy the patterns, and you could learn how to sew with a serger, with stretch knits, with all that stuff. And with double knit, because boy, do we love us some double knit, which is crazy because now it's unheard of with good reason. It doesn't breathe at all. It's just, sweatbox. Okay. This is my favorite though, because I'm really hoping this was not made in double knit. I'm trying to see if this is, it says a knit fabric with a 25% stretch. It is a jean jacket. Yeah. And a very classic jean jacket, right? Sized for men, but recommended for a stretch knit, probably a double knit, right? Okay. So she, like I said, she also had big four pattern. So without further ado, and there was more of this stuff too. I found this in her stuff. It's just like, these were the freebies, right? It's all about like how to sew with stretch knit, stuff like that. So let's do the big four. She had almost entirely simplicity. So here's my plan. I have Mrs. Lander's simplicities, And what I'm going to do is whenever I find doubles where I've got 2 of these, I'm going to try and combine them to make one, if I can, if they're the same size, one nice uncut pattern and have the other ones go into like the dupe system because, yeah, I'm sure that I have doubles because I know I have doubles of Mrs. Lander. So I'm sure I have doubles of this woman's too. Okay. So let's start with the non-simplicity because there's so few of them. All right. So we have this. These are all uncut, factory folded, by the way. We have this one, right? Super cute. Totally 80s. Also very cute. Some line drawings on the back. By the way, I don't know what to say about this. This is the jumper and the blouse, by the way. And I'm not understanding the lowness of the jumper, but look at the boots, right? Groovy. Those boots were made for walking. If you know, you know. Another wedding dress / prom dress. Very funny because I actually remember people that had this kind of this here, the purple one here, as their prom dress. That was a very popular prom dress back in the day. This, which I thought I already have, but I didn't. This is, I had something similar. It was, I think you made the purse, right? But this is the one where it's bell bottoms with that insane detail on the pants or pants or skirt in the pocket and the shirt. And then you can make basically it's kind of like it's like a bucket hat kind of, you know. Let me see what else I have in here. Nope, that was kind of it. Okay, so that was it for clothing from McCall's. Like I said, not a lot of McCall's. Even in the cut patterns, not a lot of McCall's. Mostly simplicity. So there was a little bit of advance, and this is going to take some of you way back. Chatty Cathy. Yes, the Chatty Cathy doll. Here's her clothing pattern. Yeah, right. And Ken's having such a moment right now, isn't he? Yeah. Barbie's boyfriend. So this is, yeah, no line drawing. Sorry. Those are both by Advance, by the way. So this is Ken's wardrobe by Advance. It's very, the funny thing is like, not all this stuff, but a lot of the stuff you could wear now. That's, Ken was ahead of his time. Okay. And then this next pattern. Okay. This next pattern is one of the reasons that I wasn't too angry when I bought this stuff from her and found out that a lot of it was cut. By the way, I only spent $70, so I'm not going to cry a river. But to me, it's more the principle. Like, I asked you if the patterns were cut, and you said no. Like, actually, I think I asked her if the patterns were cut or uncut, and she wrote uncut. They're not. This is from 1985. Around this time, Jim Henson, well, it wasn't even Jim Henson. It was really Sesame Street. The creators, the corporation, whatever, did this, collaboration with McCall's. And there's a couple of different kind of things that you can get. There's a Kermit, there's a bunch of stuff, but this is Oscar the Grouch, Grover, and the Cookie Monster, and they are actual dolls. They don't refer to them as puppets. They refer to them as Sesame Street characters. So as soon as I saw this, I knew it was worth something. Well, it is. So if I can sell that, I'll make not entirely, but almost half of my money back if I just sold that. Right? I know. It's kind of like, wow, really? Yeah. Then there was this. I already had this pattern, and I think I already sold it. It's not a super expensive pattern, but it's pretty cute. It has both the adult and the children's sizes. So come Halloween, I know that I'll sell this pattern because I've bought and sold it before. Because it's great if you're a mom and you want to take the toddler out. The kids' sizes go up to about a 6X, and the mother's sizes go, I think, extra small to extra large. This very nice vintage pattern, which I don't think, I feel like I have this, but when I looked, I actually have the similar pattern in Butterick, but it's almost the same setup. It's the witch, the bride, the angel, and some type of, fairy thing. Here's the line drawings in the back. So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. That was that was good. So finding some of these more interesting patterns that were uncut was really cool. This was super weird. This is a complimentary pattern. It actually says complimentary. I'm going to sell it anyway. It is for designing all of these pillows that you see on the front and on the back. It is very lacy, pictures, a little basket, and a trinket box. So we'll see. We'll see if it sells. Also got another one of these. Already have this pattern. So this is, just another one. It's a different size. I think the other one I have is a 4, and this is a 6. Yeah, this is a 6. The other one I have is a 4. So just got another one of those. By the way, there were lots of kids' patterns, and we're not going to talk about it. Okay, we're not going to talk about it because I did buy kids' patterns. I mean, you saw, like, I can't even keep to my own rules, right? But super cute. No line drawings on the side, on the back, sorry. But cute, right? Little girls' dresses, lots of different styles, perfect for your little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not bridesmaid, flower girl. There you go. All right, so we had this. Kind of cool. It's the vest, by the way, only the vest. But did you want a maxi vest? I have your pattern. You can see it over here on the side. No line drawings on the back. And then let's look at simplicity, because there were lots of simplicity in every size you can imagine. So very 80s. Show you the line drawings in the back. Giant pants, because even young girls want giant pants, right? There we go. I'll try and get that more in frame. This, which amazingly, oh, I forgot to tell you, there was a pattern for Barbie clothes, early 60s. I'm so sorry. I listed it. I didn't think it would go that fast. I already sold it. Sorry. Some PJs, including the baby PJs, or baby dolls, as we used to call them. By the way, I did also sell this week the Civil War Quilts book, and I sold the book, the Dover books, the Pennsylvania motif. So I knew they would sell right away, and they did. Super cute little girls' bathing suits uncut. Like, how cute, right? So cute. I can at least say that is one of the redeeming things about this purchase. Even though most of those patterns are cut, there's very few patterns beyond kind of early 90s. So they really are lots of vintage. And yes, when I was young, I would have killed you for this. Killed you for this dress. And this one's actually a 12. It has a bust 30. So if you're a petite woman, even though this is really like a teen pattern, you might be able to squeeze into it. You might. And then there was, yeah, I'm not even sure what's going on here, but I don't remember when I was young, like a leotard type shirt, or like, what are these? These have a name and I can't remember it. Oh, to be old and have such brain fog. This, not sure what's going on with the Michael Jackson pants, the whole Michael Jackson look we got going over here. But yeah, just little girls, pants and shorts. Very cute, kind of 80s cottagecore girl's dress. Again, really cute. A little more vintage. Some of these, including the next one, I've already had and already sold. So I know they'll sell again, which is this one. Because if this looks vaguely familiar to you, I already had this and sold it. So, yeah. Oh, and Cinderella. Still don't remember this line of children's clothing, but I have lots of patterns from this line, this Cinderella line. Here's see, we call it cottagecore now, but we used to call it prairie style because we were all, when we were little girls, well, obviously not all of us, but a lot of us were very addicted to Little House on the Prairie, right? We all wanted to be Laura Ingalls when we grew up, even though it turns out that she had a pretty horrible life with Almanzo. But okay, so, and we also had, look, a maternity pattern, guys. Yeah, Nice, huh? Maternity pattern. This, not a maternity pattern, but oh, so cute and very cottagecore. And I feel like something really similar to this has recently been released by Simplicity. They're not calling it a vintage reissue, but it looked really similar. This just really nice, like A-line, early 70s dress. And then some just completely gray stuff like this, because I was just thinking what I really want is some bib overalls with giant pockets. Just, actually, this was interesting. Now that I'm looking at the back of this, I remembered that's actually detachable. So if you wanted to, you could just simply have pants with giant pockets and not bib overalls with giant pockets everywhere. Oh, here we go. Just a really nice, it's like a 4-gourd skirt, and it's a max. It comes in a maxi style. It's actually a really nice pattern. It's a shame it's not in my size. I would consider actually keeping something like this. I like a gourd skirt. I think they look good. I think they look really good. Oh, yes. There we go again with baby doll pajamas. Yeah. Serena, who just posted a video about her and her husband, how they made these breezeway blocks, which, for those of you who don't know, if you've ever seen concrete blocks and they have like patterns in them where they have holes where you can see through them, those are called like breezeway blocks. And it's funny, they're very popular in Puerto Rico. They were very popular when I lived in California, but I don't think they actually get made anymore. Her and her husband made them from scratch. They mixed the concrete, found molds, made them. But I digress. Serena did a great video about how these kind of PJs are the reason is how your grandma got her rent paid. And I was laughing my butt off because, my grandma never wore those, but I get what she was saying. Oh, this top. Okay. When I listed this as a butterfly top, and I thought, I wonder how many people are not going to understand what I'm talking about. But you older ladies will remember. Remember the early 80s, late 70s? These were butterfly tops. Remember? This one especially is a butterfly top. They weren't, like handkerchief, hem, or high-low. They were called butterfly tops. So we'll see. I had something similar to this. I think it also sold. Oh, and look at this cool Jiffy pattern. All right. This pattern was so cool. Can you see? Look at the long version of this dress. Isn't that awesome looking? Cool, huh? Oh, and here's some really oldies. Some real oldies. Look at the jacket. See, that's what's selling it. It's just a basic sheath dress, but that jacket's selling it, right? This pattern, which I believe I also already have and already sold. And yes, it comes with the panties. See, they're calling this, what do they call it? A play dress. To me, that's a tennis outfit, but they're calling it a play dress. I get it, though. It's got panties to go with it. That's why it's a play dress. This pattern, which I swear I already have, but I can't find it anywhere. The only thing I can think of is that they changed the number, because this is it's a junior. All right, I never get this right. Junior petite, whereas this one here, I've seen this before with those sleeves. So yeah, there were a bunch of junior petite patterns, which is good because junior petite's an interesting size. You still have women who are petite, so having petite patterns is great. And then we had this, which I'm absolutely sure that plaid one was made of double knit polyester. So she's dying in that. But yeah, like a gaucho, what are they calling it? They're calling it, I love the names that they give to the clothes. A pants dress or a pant jumper. Okay, fair. Describes it fairly, right? And then the final pattern, which is the skirts, the shirts, and the vests. Very groovy, very mod. Also, somehow over here, slightly St. Pauli girl Bavarian, but All right, so that was the patterns that were uncut. Next week, during this week, I am going to be working on the patterns that I felt were kind of in dire straits that needed to be rescued before they got worse, or I don't know, or just completely disintegrated. And some of them look, yeah, some of them I might be too late, but we'll see. So that's what I'll be doing next week. The following week, which is the end of the school year, I have only half days. So I'm not sure what I'm doing that week, because in spite of the fact that you would think that I'm going to have extra time because we have these half days, we don't. It screws everybody's schedule up, including the kids and the parents and the moms. And you know, and all of a sudden you're at some house and the mom forgot that the kid had a half day, and you're calling the school trying to figure out where mom is. So my week might be very weird, but my intention is to work on what I'm referring to as naked patterns, which are the patterns where they were taken out of the envelope was returned to the company, and the store got credit for the pattern, which they didn't sell, and then someone kept the guts of the pattern. Because, like I said, there's an entire box of these. So that is what I'm intending on working on next week, not this week, but the following Sunday. And then after that, I have my own set of Mrs. Landis patterns with the same kind of condition, shall we say, issue condition, that I want to set out in the sun and let them get a little aired out, because they're not horrible, but Mrs. Landis patterns smell like a basement. It's just the way it is. But that's it for plans so far, because I have to be honest, I think we're going to be spending the summer in the 70s. That's the best way I can describe it. I had segregated all of Mrs. Landis's patterns, all the 70s patterns. This recent purchase I just did, by the way, all of which are simplicity, majority of which, I think there's a couple of butterick. And then I bought this other set of patterns. Now, those cut patterns, again, almost entirely simplicity, some butterick, a little bit of McCall's, not a lot, right? So we're going to be spending the summer in the 70s, basically, is what I'm warning you about. And yeah, and hopefully I'll get some sewing projects in there. I'm really itching to sew, but I keep feeling really overwhelmed and feeling like I need to deal with the patterns before I do anything else. So we'll see. But until next week, I hope wherever you are, the weather's great. It's been great here. Knock wood, because it wasn't. I hope you're doing well. And thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you next week. And until then, please stay well, and I will see you then. Bye.